the most interesting things about popular culture today is the widespread presence of the undead. Zombies and vampires are constantly featured in new movies, TV shows, books, video games, and the news? These days the undead are everywhere. Their numbers are growing day by day. But they're not real. We know they're just fictions. What if that wasn't always the case? In the medieval period in Northern and Western Europe, people believed that the walking dead were very real and very dangerous. It wasn't death they feared, but the dead. Today on Totally Awesome History, medieval zombies.
Totally Awesome History!
In the 12th and 13th centuries, the medieval Icelanders started writing the sagas. These were stories that had been passed down orally from generation to generation that related the exploits of their ancestors in Iceland and the North Atlantic Scandinavian world at large. Several of them mention an undead creature known as Draugr. The Draugr, or revenants as they were known outside of Scandinavia, were not spirits or ghosts in the way that we know them as, but rather they were the very real animated corpses of the dead. They were said to rise from their graves and do all manner of wicked things. Ride atop houses banging on the roof, kill livestock and people, and create an atmosphere of fear and horror amongst the living. They also had superhuman strength to crush the bones of anyone who dared stand in their way. In some cases, they would cause so much trouble, entire farms and towns were abandoned until the Draugr was properly dealt with. This could sometimes be accomplished through decapitation, but usually took the form of destroying the body completely through cremation. Although in one case, a group of Draugr went away peacefully after being formally convicted in a court case. Not all Draugr roam freely though. Many were content to simply remain in their burial mounds and only became active if somebody tried to rob them of their burial goods. The thing that separated the angry dead from those who either stayed put or went on to another afterlife was simple. Literature agrees. Their manner in life determined their manner in death. In other words, if they were douchebags when they were alive, sure enough, they would be King Draugr douchebags in death. One of the most famous Draugr is mentioned in the saga of Grettir the Strong. His name was Glam. Glam had been hired as a shepherd in the employ of a farmer named Thorhall. Thorhall had a farm in northern Iceland that was rumored to be haunted already at the time that Glam took the job. Glam is described as a luckless man. Everyone hated him. He was surly, had little love for Christianity, and was short on manners. His most distinctive characteristic? Bad breath. One night, after a long day of shepherding, Glam did not return. When a search party eventually found him dead in a nearby valley, presumably killed by the malevolent force that had caused the previous haunting, his corpse was black and large as an ox. When they tried to move his body for burial, it was simply too heavy, so they left him where he was. Soon enough, however, Glam came back as a Draugr and started killing cows and horses, riding farmhouses at night, breaking down doors, and attacking anyone or anything that dared venture too close to the valley. People started abandoning the area. Enter the hero of the saga, the outlaw Grettir the Strong. He had heard about Glam and went to Thorhall, promising to vanquish him. When they finally fought, Grettir defeated Glam. He cut off his head and burned his body, thus putting an end to Glam's rovings. But during their fierce wrestling match, something unholy happened. Grettir was chilled to the bone by Glam's eyes as Glam cursed him to forever be afraid of the dark and become an exile among men. The curse came true. Not only that, but the vision of Glam's eyes haunted Grettir for the rest of his days. Now I know what you're thinking. How do we know that they didn't see these creatures as fictional stories? The same way that we think of zombies or vampires? Well, for a number of reasons. First, there is a high level of consistency among the different accounts. Second, at least one of the sources from England swears that they were real. William of Newburgh, a 12th century English cleric and historian, writes,
The corpses of the dead, moved by some kind of spirit, leave the graves and wander around as the calls of danger and terror to the living, before going back to tombs which open up to receive them, is not something which would be easily believed, were it not for the facts that there have been clear examples in our own time, with abundant accounts of such events.
Archaeological evidence also supports this. We see in many cases precautions being made to make sure that the dead didn't get up and start wandering around. These included placing heavy rocks over top the body, binding it with chains, mutilating it, and staking the body down so it couldn't get up. There's also a medieval inscription from a stone in Sweden that says, "Beware the dead destroyer." Whether they were real or not, medieval Northern Europeans definitely thought they were. In fact, many scholars agree that they represented beliefs that predated their conversion to Christianity. So the next time you're watching a zombie movie or playing Skyrim, just remember that at one time, they were more than just entertainment. And the fact that we're still talking about them today makes them totally awesome history.
Totally awesome history!